Has Gina cruelly forgiven Clint?
Not even close. She thinks if they move in together, it'll break them apart. Isn't that a contradiction to what this show is? Married at first sight, i.e., living together, i.e., experiencing the person in real time as they are currently, and then making a decision 8 weeks out.
Absolutely, wifey. You got me left me scratching my brown egg.
So, what did she think she was signing up for?
Hell if I know.
One thing Pastor Carl said that struck me. He said living apart is major hostility.
Yeah, and that seems to be the place and the space which Gina is content to occupy right now, despite what she may be saying out of her mouth. Welcome to Cliff Alerts. Today we're going to be talking about Lifetime Network's reality-based TV series, Married at First Sight, season number 16, episode number 8.
But before we get into that, please like, share, and subscribe. Click that like button to help us in the algorithm and send us your comments. You guys are awesome. We respond to the comments we receive, and we thank you for your support of this channel. So let's get into Gina and Clinton, their foolishness.
Uh, yeah, yeah, you said it right.
Clint comes over to Gina's apartment. You know, they live in the same building, and he's greeted by her beautiful dog. He looks like a labradoodle.
Yeah, something, some breed.
Beautiful,
Yep, good looking
beautiful
dog.
dog. He shows him around. She goes in and tells him that she thinks if they move in together, it would not be a good idea. It's going to break them apart. And that she thinks that it's better if she does not move in, but they still continue to see each other.
I don't understand that rationale or anything along that line for coming from her about that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did they not get married?
Yeah, they
Did
did.
they not go on a honeymoon in Jamaica?
Uh-huh.
Did they
She,
not come back from that?
but she's saying this because she said she doesn't feel anything romantic between them,
Well,
and something is missing. And she said that to get the something that's missing, they need to be apart
mhm. well,
from each other.
here's the thing. I don't know about that, but I do know this. You know, in terms of there's no chemistry, that was kind of apparent when they walked in the door and greeted each other. There was a polite church hug, you know, the ones where people
Hmm.
stick out their booties and all the
Hmm.
women and they pat each other on the back like that.
Hmm.
There was nothing genuine about that hug for one, and two, they didn't kiss.
The relationship is gonna all depend on her. If she's not into it, it won't go any further. He can't overstep his boundary and try to be affectionate or try to touch her in any way. She's got to allow that to happen. So if she is saying, one, let's live apart, and two, I feel no romantic stuff, well, you haven't given yourself or Clint a space and a place to be romantic, to have some level of intimacy going on between you. And I don't mean sex when I say intimacy. They need to go out, to laugh, to talk, to find out about each other, to listen to music, to, become friends,
Right, in
to
reverse.
hold hands, to touch.
Right.
Because one touch, it may not be stimulating, but after a while, when you start getting all these touches, it's gonna do something.
Agreed, wifey. And you know, one of the things I think may be at the root of that is because she is stuck in a place of unforgiveness.
She have out in her heart for him.
Right, because of what Clint said in that group setting about, you know, the type of women that he typically has dated, and maybe his wife not, not being in alignment with that, even though he wasn't specifically referencing her.
Okay, well, if that's the case, have a hard conversation. Clint, I know the romantic stuff can't pop off because of me. And I guess I still feel a kind of way about, the comment. I know you said it wasn't directed at me, but I gotta process it. But in the meanwhile, my intention is to find someone, and you are the one they presented. So you help me to get over this hurdle. So reveal to me a little more of your personality. So that hurts that I may have feel intended or not, I can get over that hump.
I
How about that?
I would tend to
And she grown? Ain't she a grown woman?
supposed to be,
Okay.
but here's the thing though. I would agree that that would be a very very constructive way to deal with it. But the problem with that is this: she's not in that place or space. In the way of I forgive you. So her actions are betraying what's coming out of her verbally. So if I'm forced to choose, you know, what I believe, what she's saying with her mouth or watching what she does, I'm gonna believe what she
What
does
she
speaks
does.
is speaking so loudly that I can't even possibly hear what she's saying out of her mouth.
Exactly. And not only that, um, how many times do people who are in a relationship have a misunderstanding or disagreement? Do they then
Every day.
do they decide to, okay, I'm out? Is that how she conducted herself?
If it was, then we're
Come
all
on.
if it was, it goes a long way in explaining why she hasn't found anybody to this point. A
Let
sister.
that man take you out on the boat, on the yacht, jump in the water, reveal something,
Hmm.
and say, well, you don't have to look because you're accustomed to a type. Make fun of what you're giving back to him. Don't be stuck on hurt.
And
You can't live your life going forward on something that's done in the past to you. Better show that man the bits and pieces that he was talking about that he never dated before, and let him see it in real time and say,
up
oops,
close and personal, huh?
yeah,
Mhm.
oops, this is not what you check in for. Remember, my brother?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Just want to give you a little show and see.
A little sample.
A little
What you
show. No, you can't touch, not sample.
okay, okay.
A little show and see.
Oh,
Play with
show
him.
and
Be
tell, man.
playful.
Okay, okay.
Be playful. Be engaging. That kind of stuff will turn up the volume in the discussion with Pastor Cal. Gina acted as if she's gonna be put upon if she stays in the apartment.
I perceived her saying, "You know what? This is what I've made a decision to do. This is the way I want to deal with it because, and I'm going to hide behind this excuse of not being comfortable, despite the fact that I've already been spent nights with this man
Hey,
already. I
this.
tell you what, she's not comfortable about, comfortable with. She's not comfortable about telling the truth about how she really feels.
Exactly.
That's what she's not comfortable about.
Exactly.
And wanting to appear a certain way and wanting to appear reasonable on camera. But nobody who's sincerely interested in, you know, like Clinton admitted he wanted to do and sticking this out
Yes.
is going to think that that's a viable solution to their issues.
If you don't want to do this, cut your losses, cut your bait and go. At one point, he said he's committed to her. He wants this to work. He'll do everything
He's gonna
like
stick
that.
it out.
He's gonna stick around and do anything that will make her comfortable. This thing going around in her head, she's not hearing him.
No, she doesn't want to hear him for one because she's already made a decision about where she is, and she's not willing to she's not willing to take that opportunity to be courageous, step out there and honor what she said she was going to do with her vows and all, for better for worse, part of their vows, and really move beyond the forgiveness component, move beyond the forgetting component of that old adage, and legitimately starting over and starting anew with a clean slate. Pastor said something that I thought was very insightful. He said that Gina's decision not to stay there
Is the
is a
demise
step
of them
towards
not
the
being there.
demise as a couple,
Yes.
and I couldn't agree with him more.
Yeah, it's pretty much a wrap.
Right, right. And I thought that, you know, because of their chronological ages, that this was one of the couples from the beginning that I thought might make it.
Hmm.
Where was I wrong? Gina is, in a real sense, sabotaging whatever chances that they have. I'm wondering what Gina is really, really thinks or feels and or believes she's getting as a benefit from handling things this way.
In business, her clients will have attitudes that she got to get beyond to keep people coming through that door and making sure that they look the way they want to look.
So, in other words,
So I think that she is being overly put out by the comments, and I think she is stopping at a gate that if she opens that door wider, there's a whole lot of good and a different experience to be had rather than just stopping right there and not moving forward. Because in business, she can't stop at that gate. She has to open that door wide to allow clientele to come in, those she like, those she don't like, and those she's not too sure about or if she's iffy.
and those that she's had past disagreements about that have
Exactly.
chosen to continue on with her despite
So
that,
why is she doing that for a business and she's
not doing it
unable to do that
in her
in her
personal life.
personal
That
life?
is a fantastic question from my vantage point.
I would be clowning Clint every chance I get. Switch that thing around to make yourself joyful no matter what. So that at the end of this experience, she either got a friend or got a husband.
The art that you had against somebody else wasn't hurting them; it was hurting you.
Right,
At that point, you decided, okay, I need to let it go.
right.
That this will serve her well, and that doing the opposite and not doing that will be to her detriment.
Because she forgot that personal life. The honeymoon, all she talks about is the business.
Mm.
She has denied her personal life, and that's
She's
what she's
neglected.
gonna continue doing.
Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is really for you.
Absolutely. If it doesn't serve you, you have no reason to hold on to it because your life and the texture and quality of your life gotta be up there
And can't
because you are in control of it. Nobody else. Don't empower anyone to have control over you that your thoughts are on the past and not on your future. If she has vexation of spirit with her clients, and most hairdressers do have some issue, or I didn't like my haircut, I didn't like the color, I didn't like. If you're able to resolve that issue and you still have a client, then you are capable of resolving a miscommunication that you had with someone on this show. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you for your love. Send us your comments. Tell us what you think and what you think, if it was you, what you would have done. And let us know. So God bless. Blessings always. Live in joy.